Well, hey everybody, it's Thursday, the 13th day of February, 2025. I'm Jan Erickson, and this is As Above, So Below. Well, we had a little more snow last night. I'm not exactly sure how much is out there, but I know there's more on the back deck than there was. And that probably looks maybe 4 or 5 inches. But it's supposed to warm up here probably tomorrow, and then Saturday and Sunday definitely, and Monday. So I'm hoping we don't have to snow blow the driveway. That won't be fun. But if we have to, we have to. But it's like, almost 800 feet, so. Fun times. But hopefully it'll melt, and we don't have to worry about it. We're going to start today out with not Perthrow. That's what we had on Monday. I was just looking at Monday's stuff here. This is Vunyo. Vunyo is the 8th rune of the Elder Futhark, and it essentially means fellowship and joy. It's the wish rune. It brings peace and harmony and success and happiness. It's one of those runes like Birkenau where you can chant it softly to yourself. Like with Birkenau, you can chant it softly and bring peace and calm. Same thing with Vunyo. It's just a very positive rune, and basically it can either indicate your state of mind, which ideally from a higher self standpoint, expressing Vunyo in your life is the thing to do. Also Birkenau, well, any of them really, but particularly Vunyo. It's a very soft type of an energy, and compassionate and loving. So what do we have here? Okay, so we have for the Geomancy rune, for the below side, we have Caput Draconis. The Draconi, Caput and Kata. This would be Kata. Kata would be the tail of the dragon, or endings. It's also considered a karmic and possibly evil influence, just depending. I tend to not really look at it that way, but more karmic maybe. Past life or in the past or something with Kata. With Caput, you're talking the north node of the moon and being on the threshold of new experiences. And so maybe today and going into the weekend here, what you're going to experience will be more fellowship oriented. Maybe you're getting together with friends or family, or in some kind of a community event or something where you come together in that type of fellowship with people that's joyful and loving and compassionate and peaceful, harmonious. Mouse pointer out of the way here. Let's go ahead though, and I'm gonna cut the deck and take the lower half. Well, we right away we have a run on swords, and we have an ace card. Only it's from Pentacles. We're looking at the 3 of Swords, the 4 of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles. So let's do the numerology very quickly here. We had an 8 for Vunyo. We have a 3 for the 3 of Swords. That's 11 plus 4 is 15 plus 1 is 16, so 7. So we have a 7 numerology here. But we're going to start with a 3 of Swords. This is typically read as betrayal. You see 3 swords piercing a heart. 2 are slightly behind the center one, and so you can think of this as some kind of a drama triangle, if you will, or a betrayal triangle, a love triangle. Where there could be something revealed today that the individual in the center that this is being done to, essentially. Maybe it's at work. You could have coworkers undermining you or something. It could be something like that, which isn't fun. This is another card that shows more than one element. You've got the water element with the rain and the clouds, and also the heart, with swords stabbing it, basically. And so it's an upsetting type of a feeling, especially if, say, friends have betrayed you, or a lover's betrayed you, or a partner's betrayed you, or undermined you in some way. But with the rain coming down, it's going to clear out the deception of everything, and where you're going to understand what's going on. We move on to the 4. This is going to be probably a pretty easy reading here today. Here we take a respite, if we will. We let our thoughts settle, our minds settle. Yes, I know this is a casket with, the guy inside is on top here. In a relief type of a sculpture here, you see 1 sword horizontal and 3 swords pointing down, and pointing down from spirit into form. 4 is, let's go back to the 3. The 3 is integrative. So something less Vunyo-like has happened here in the 3 of Swords to explain the beginning of this. And if you're on the threshold of new joy or new peace or new fellowship or new harmony, it may be that you have to leave this situation or see it differently. If you don't leave it, to see it differently so that it does not impact you any longer. And you may need to give yourself a time to think about that and restructure things. 4 is about structure and foundation and grounding. Also practicality, seeing things from a practical viewpoint, if you will, maybe. In other words, what's best for you in this situation, so you can move forward in joy and fellowship and love and harmony and peace, even if it's just within, and what you're willing to then extend to other people. Maybe not so much this situation, or if this was just a complete misunderstanding, maybe there could be a renewal of sorts. But typically speaking, when I pull the 3, how I see that is something's happened and you've become aware of it. But now that you've become aware of it, you give yourself a chance to think about it and come to terms with it. And then from there, we have the Ace of Pentacles, which we see with all aces in the Rider-Waite, we see a hand reaching out from a darkened cloud. The unseen hand of spirit, if you will, guiding you in terms of your material security. You see this very large coin right here with the pentagram on the inside. You have a pentagram, and if there's a circle around it, it's called a pentacle. Okay, so that's how you know the difference. But here you see the pentagram. The top point here is pointing up to spirit, and then you have the 4 elements right there. You see some lilies here along this path, and you see a nice hedgerow with an archway joining the next one on the other side. You see some mountains in the distance. But essentially what this is there could be something, and when you look at here in terms of material security, it could be money, it could be, it could be a very Othala type of a thing where you have loyalty and tradition and security and peace. You have to do with anything to do with your physical life, so education, work, home. There could be something that provided some instability. Let's just talk about this from a work standpoint, especially given that you have, the large coin there in the unseen hand of spirit. If there was a situation at work where you were undermined, it could be that it's time to make a change, in terms of what you want at that job. Maybe you look for another job and you find one, or maybe you even, the boss is aware of it and the boss says, well, how about we promote you? And you can be the boss of these people that are doing this, and you can make a decision then, or you'd probably be better if the boss made the decision about what to do about those people. But maybe you get moved to another division, and so a new path opens to increased wealth and security, because we can look at the Ace of Pentacles as that as well. But even if it's not that, if it's some kind of betrayal where you then seek another path, maybe it's another path toward harmony with others, with people that will actually be on that wavelength with you. Maybe you've tried with friends in your life. This could be, if this is a friendship thing, you've tried, but it's not working. And clearly, there's the behind the scenes stuff that's going on that's not very respectful for you, toward you, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So you give it some thought, and then you decide you're going to take a new path. And whether it's the peace and security that that having good friendships and help provide you in your life, which would be a very earth element type of thing because it's very foundational, or you're seeking a new path. And I think with Kata Draconis, I think we're really talking about a new path that's on, you're on the threshold of something new developing. And given that this is, material security, if this is a love relationship and you decide to, leave it, maybe you're going to be embarking something that's going to give you even more material security in your life. Maybe a new relationship will come into your life. It could be looked at that way. But if you just look at from a purely financial attitude, Vunyo can mean success and happiness. And if you find that at work, things are not as you would like, things come to light today, and or you've been suspecting that maybe some people have been undermining you, maybe it's time to meditate on the whole thing, get away from it, spend some time thinking about it, and then maybe at the beginning of next week you might look for another job, and who knows, maybe you'll find one right away, and it might be more money, and which in better benefits, and it could actually put you on the road to even better success and material security for yourself. So, but there just seems to be some catalyst with the integration you have with other people that's not right here, that is not actually bringing you emotional security. And trust that you need to have. The air element with swords is also about trust versus deception. So rationality versus thinking with the heart. So rationality versus, say, empathy or intuition, and you're having to understand that maybe something needs to change about this circumstance, and whatever that is could then put you on the threshold to something more secure and peaceful in your life. And again, with Caput Draconis, it really indicates being on the threshold of something new for yourself. Might be born from something uncomfortable and upsetting, and maybe a whole lot of upset, but at the same time, you get your faculties, you look at this rationally, and you give yourself time to step away into some private moment where you can really think about what it is you want and what it is you need in your life to be successful and happy and materially secure. And so again, this could be, it really could come from a lot of different places in terms of the Three of Swords. So hopefully that's general enough here today to give you an idea of the kind of the flow or the process of when you realize something that's just untenable. You can't deal with that anymore. You're just not going to have that in your life. You got to take a step back and think about it and be rational about it, and figure out what it is you really want and what you want out of this whole thing. Or if you just want out of this whole thing, and then embark upon a new path, where there could be challenges, of course, but that's okay. You're entering with a pure heart with the lilies, the white lilies, and you're ready to take on something new in your life. So, anyhow, I think that's it. It's a very easy reading today, very short. We don't need another card or anything. Let's see how that resonates for you. And if it doesn't yet resonate, then just remember the process of give yourself time when you go through something difficult, when you learn something new that's upsetting and you realize that things are not as you thought they were. You got to give yourself time to think about it and come up with a plan and decide what it is you're going to do. And perhaps it involves a whole new path opening for you. So that's it. Thanks for watching. And check out the blog over at Stepping Aside. The web address there is imsteppingaside.com. Everything goes out on the blog unless I write something else in the meantime, in the early midnight hour of Sunday morning. And check out the forecast and the correspondences and all of that if you're into work and magic. But there's a forecast there that you might be interested in, and which I also publish over, at least part of it anyway, over on Substack. And Come back again on Monday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.